Afternoon everyone, welcome back to the second phase of our press conferences today. Of course, the disappointment that Dillian Whyte will not be fit to fight against Otto Wallin this Saturday, but the good news is we have a great fight card ready to go at the O2 Arena this Saturday, live on DAZN all around the world. When we got the bad news about Dillian Whyte, automatically you get asked a question and you have to make a decision. What do you do? Obviously we have an obligation to these men and women to make sure that we deliver for them on many different levels. Of course, one, to make sure that we advance their career. Two, we give them opportunities to fight. We progress their careers, and obviously they get paid as well. It was never in the mind to let these people down, not just because we've got a great fight card, but also because we care for our fighters, and there's some massive opportunities for the people up here on this stage. Of course, the main event, the unified 140-pound first phase, first semi-final of our Road to Undisputed tournament, which is such a positive for boxing. When you talk about women's boxing at the moment, I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Savannah Marshall headlined a show on Sky Sports. This week, Chantelle Cameron and Mary McGee headline on DAZN. Next week, our own Maiva Hamadouchi will fight Michaela Meyer, headlining on ESPN in America as well. I think the progression of women's, not just women's boxing, but women's combat sports, Leah McCourt at the back there as well. It's great to see, and it's about time. And I think we've been a real big protagonist of that movement, and we're very proud to do so. They continue to entertain, they continue to put it on the line. And this tournament is a great example of how easy it can be in boxing, where the champions just say, yes, we're willing to fight each other. We're willing to find out who the best in the division is. A great main event. Of course, as co-main event, the ever-entertaining Alan Babich over there that was wanting to step in and fight Otto Wallin, but thankfully remains against two-time world heavyweight champion Eric Molina. Craig Richards against Marek Macho in a great light heavyweight fight. For me, what could steal the show, do not miss this fight at 7 p.m. Jorge Castaneda against our man down here, Yusuf Kumari, Dillian Whyte's charge. Of course, Dillian Whyte's other charge, Thomas Carty, the heavyweight. Great to see Ellie Scotney back in action. Jordan Thompson, who I believe is one of the best young cruiserweights in the country. And of course, Johnny Fisher, who has sold a truckload of tickets from Essex. It's been that difficult for John Hedges because he joined the card after, has also sold a truckload of tickets, but many of those probably coming also to support Johnny Fisher before he was added. So welcome John Hedges and all the fighters here, and delighted that we have an action-packed card to proceed on Saturday at the O2. We're going to start down on the table below me. Jordan Thompson, first of all. Jordan, welcome. A small bout of COVID for you a couple of months ago, stopped you from fighting previously, but you're at the O2 Arena, ready to go and ready to make your charge in the domestic cruiserweight division.
No, 100%, man, 100%. Just thank you for having me as well. And like you touched on before, it was scary because I've been out of the ring for 2 years now, with a bit of a stop-start career. So when the main event got called off, I was definitely one of the few that was worried. But thank you for keeping the card on and giving us an opportunity to get out there and put on a show still.
Obviously, when people talk about you as a prospect, you know, you are fairly deep into your professional career, but very highly rated, very well spoken about within the circuit. You know, you're not a secret in that respect. You've been up as part of the Tyson Fury training camp for Deontay Wilder as well. You look at that domestic cruiserweight division right now, get through Saturday night, and you're ready to really issue a charge on that in 2022.
100%. You know, like sparring, and hopefully Saturday night I'll go out there and put it into play. But I've gained some real good experience over the last few years, even if I've been inactive. But no, I do see myself as getting in there and getting in the mix of things. I won't be shying away from any fight. So get some momentum behind me come Saturday night. Hopefully get out again before the end of the year, and then next year we get into the mix of things.
Look forward to seeing you on Saturday in your Matchroom debut. John Hedges, welcome John, and for the first time fighting in front of your own fans. A couple of fights during lockdown, very tough debut for you as well against a late notice opponent at Southpaw. A wild experience out in Austria last time, which was still a great experience for you, but great to be home, great to be fighting at the O2 Arena on Saturday.
Yeah, 100% Eddie. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously the first one back in front of a crowd, and there's a fair few coming, and obviously with Johnny's support as well, there's a lot of Essex going to be there. So it's going to be a good night. Great night in Austria, what we just had recently, so I'm fresh from just having a fight, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm blessed with the opportunity, so thank you very much.
How much do you feel you're moulding into that pro game now? As I said, really tough debut for you, late notice start, it was a close fight, went away, had a good win behind closed doors in the bubble. Austria, good experience for you as well, but really starting to get into your stride now. I know you're a very young man, you're already a light heavyweight. I think whether we see that move into cruiserweight in the future, I believe so, and maybe even heavyweight in years to come as well.
Yeah, like you said there, Eddie, like had a hard start to the pros, but we've just been like full on since then. We moved to Mark Tibbs' stable, and all of us in there, we train hard, we fight hard, and we haven't been taking the easiest of fights, and it's been good, and I think I'm seeing the progression slowly. My last fight, I thought there was a big improvement again, and I look to do the same thing come Saturday. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I really think I'm going to shine. Thanks,
John. Thomas Carty, welcome, your first time on a Matchroom show, of course, put forward by your now co-manager, Dillian Whyte. If the sparring's anything to go by, and the depths that you swim in sparring, you really will fight anyone. I mean, just a tremendous run in camps. I believe Derek Chisora firstly, of course, big part of Anthony Joshua's camp against Alexander Usyk, then flew out and did many rounds with Dillian Whyte as well. You're getting the absolute best preparation for the heavyweight division.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last year, it was actually this time last year, I flew out to Derek Chisora's camp and he fought Usyk, and from there it's kind of been non-stop. So delighted to be here now, finally kicking on with my own career and on a Matchroom show, which is where everybody wants to be, you know. So thanks for the opportunity, and really looking forward to Saturday night.
I know as a young fighter, you know, those early fights in your career aren't supposed to be particularly arduous, but obviously the sparring is. It must have really brought you on as a fighter, although I'm sure you'd like to have actually had more professional fights at this stage. The value that you've been getting in that sparring is priceless.
Yeah, I made my debut in Belgium in May, but over the last year I've racked up loads of rounds with quality fighters, you know, so I do feel well experienced, although I need the rounds in the ring. I do feel as though I've gained massive experience over the last year sparring these guys and seeing what level they train at and where they're at, you know.
Look forward to seeing you in action on Saturday. Ellie Scotney, welcome back. Seems like an absolute age since you were in the ring, and I can't believe when I was just going through some fights and some records the other day, of course, you've only had 2 pro fights. Feels like you should have had 10 at this stage.
I should have had 10, I think, as well.
COVID.
Stressful.
COVID, opponents pulling out on fight week with COVID, changing camps, etc. But you're here ready to go. O2 Arena, just a stone's throw from Catford as well. Ready to start going. New trainer, Shane McGuigan as well, in an absolutely buzzing super bantamweight, and every weight class around your weight class. Just ready to go now and ready to move forward and challenge for major titles.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's been a long time coming, and I feel like I'm finding my feet now. So from Saturday night, I'm looking forward to it, get the ball rolling.
I've seen you putting in the training with Shane McGuigan as well. Obviously, that camp is thriving now. You seem very happy down there as well, and had a good chance now over the last few months to really mould in. I know there's plenty of work still to do, but looking forward to showing that on Saturday.
Yeah, I've been there 7 weeks now, and I feel like I'm learning every day. So if I show a glimpse of that on Saturday night, yeah, it's just going to keep learning from there.
And finally, I know you're not overly outspoken, but I have to mention the likes of Ebony Bridges, the likes of Rachel Ball, the likes of Shannon Courtney, and of course Jamie Mitchell now, who just dethroned her recently. How far do you feel like you are away from those fighters? You believe you can beat all of those now? It's just a case of getting the relevant pro experience?
Yeah, you know, as soon as I get in the ring Saturday, get the business done then, and then, yeah, I'm looking to get into those big fights because they're the fights that matter.
Looking forward to finally seeing you back in the ring on Saturday, then moving forward to world titles in 2022. As I said, this fight is a cracker. If it's not, I allow you to play this back and tease me online, because this can only be what I believe will be an absolute barn burner of a fight. Jorge Castaneda, who unfortunately we saw beat one of our top young prospects in America, Otha Jones, recently, boxed so well we had to sign him immediately after that fight as well. Been looking for a big fight for him. Yusuf Kumari, as we know, great win on the Dillian Whyte Povetkin card against Kane Baker, just won in Barcelona recently, and Dillian Whyte said, we want a big fight for Yusuf Kumari. I love it when you get people who are ready to take the tough fights because they believe they're good enough. And when I phoned up Dillian Whyte, I had to warn him about the toughness of Jorge Castaneda, and he said, great, that's what Yusuf Kumari needs. So, Mr. Castaneda, welcome over from the States. It was a hell of a fight with Otha Jones last time out. This one's going to be exactly the same. You've talked about how you want to continue that run of not just victories, but great fights, give the fans value for money. A lot of people expecting a great fight here on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. You know, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to come fight and show the people of the UK a war, you know. I trained really hard for this fight. I know Kumari's going to bring his A game. He's going to come and, you know, do a hell of a fight with me, and, you know, you don't want to miss it.
Talk to me about development of fighters in America. You know, obviously, much smaller country here. Fighters come through the amateur system, might win national titles and get opportunities. Of course, if you've been in the Olympics and so forth, you get, you know, given greater opportunities with promoters. But you haven't had those opportunities coming through. You've had to jump at these fights. When you were offered Ofer Jones, you just accepted straight away. When you were offered Yusuf Kumari, you just accepted straight away. Is that how it's had to be for you so far in the pro game?
Yes, sir. I had to take any opportunity they gave me, you know. I mean, I didn't go up in the ranks in the amateurs. I really didn't have any amateur fights. But, you know, like I said, in the pro rankings, I needed to take any opportunity they gave me to showcase my skills and show them that I'm a great, exciting fighter.
And for you, in terms of the development of your career and the opportunities in life, a huge win on DAZN last time in Miami. This could be another big win for you in London, this time on DAZN as well. This is going to put you in line for a really big fight in 2022, and what would be also a big payday if you can come through this fight.
Yes, sir. It's really motivating for me. You know, I'm fighting for a title against a tough guy. And, you know, this is the fights that I need to come closer to a world title. I know winning this fight is going to bring me more exciting fights and, you know, like you said, better paydays. That's what I want. I want to, you know, fight and take this win and take this belt home back to my family and to the people of Laredo, Texas.
Thank you. Jorge, Yusuf, again, I know you two guys are coming through and a lot of the wider public won't know too much about you, but a lot of people talking about this fight, expecting a brilliant fight. You had a tough one last time out in Barcelona. I know you probably weren't quite ready for what came in the ring that night. You got through that, but I know that this training camp's been very different, and people tell me that you're ready to go on Saturday night.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my manager, Dillian White, for another opportunity. And also a big thank you to Matchroom Boxing for continuing on with the show, despite losing the main event. Back to what Eddie said, yeah, you know, the camp I had out in Portugal was the best camp I've ever had. I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been. And I'm ready to go on Saturday night and bring more than my A game.
Obviously, you would have watched Jorge Castaneda against Ofer Jones. Very tough, very durable, tremendous engine as well. Do you expect this fight to go deep into deep waters? I know you start very fast, you're very sharp as well, but this guy will continue coming all night.
You know, like I've shown in my last couple fights, I'm ready for whatever comes in the night. You know, I'm tough, I'm ready to go, and everyone knows from what they've seen, I love a war. So I'm ready to bring the heat on the night and make it another smoky Saturday.
Well, it's going to be a great fight. Look forward to that one for the WBC International Championship. Johnny Fisher, a man that was probably the most nervous when Dillian White had to pull out of the fight against Otto Wallin, not just because he put his name forward to fight Otto Wallin, but because he'd also sold about 1,400 tickets. I have to have a shout out to Sam Jones, his former manager, who once told me that if he gets the opportunity to fight in the UK, he will do easily over 1,000 tickets. I said, Sam, pipe down, stop being so ridiculous. And he has done it, and the great news is they're all still coming. And the great news for big Johnny Fisher, because he would have had to do the refunds, and he's nearly had several heart attacks just selling the tickets. So thank you to all those people that have supported Johnny Fisher. Most of them we know from our area, and those even beyond Essex, of course, down in Exeter where John was at university, and many other fans around the country. John, I have to say, as I said in an interview yesterday, outside of probably, I don't know, Josh Warrington and not many others, that is probably the most tickets I've ever seen a fighter sell individually from his hands. Firstly, a thank you to the support that you've had, and also a thank you to your old man who's had the duty of going out and selling them all.
Yeah, massive thank you to everyone who's come to support me and is coming on Saturday night. Big thank you to you as well, Eddie, for keeping the show on, because I don't know what happened, but there have been a lot of angry people in Romford, probably for you in Brentwood somewhere.
That's why I kept it on.
Yeah, but my dad's been a massive help. He's been stressing till 2, 3 in the morning after he's doing his job, so I've got to give him a massive thank you. And listen, none of it matters unless I put on a good performance on Saturday night. I've been working hard in the gym with Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs and the whole team. and it's now down to me to do the business. Everything else has been laid down. It's now time for me to put on a good performance.
Alvaro Torreiro, the opponent, just landed into the UK, will be obviously on the scales tomorrow. A much tougher test than you faced in your first 3 fights. Of course, the third fight was a step up. You dealt with that convincingly, but here you're fighting a guy that actually was due to fight for the Spanish heavyweight title. Actually followed me on Instagram last night, and I was just having a little peek. And he's a proper fighter. Not a journeyman, not a guy that's coming to get paid, has ambitions himself to perform as a heavyweight in Spain, and looks at an opportunity like this against someone like you as a massive chance for him in his career. We've seen against Solomon Dakers, prepared to let his hands go. You mustn't get too carried away on Saturday in this kind of crazy environment with those fans.
No, definitely not, and that's going to be the challenge for this fight. We've been working very hard in the gym to measure my distance correctly, and I've been sparring very well. Been sparring up with Fury in his gym before this as well. But as you said, he's a game fighter, he comes to fight, but I think that will that he's got and that ambition, it's my job to crush that ambition when he comes forward and he tries to let his hands go. My speed and power will be telling, and he will feel it in the full force.
Well, we look forward to seeing your full fight, and so pleased to see so many come out to support you on your journey on Saturday night. We move into our second championship fight on the card. Marek Macha against Craig Richards, a really good fight for the WBA International Light Heavyweight Championship. Marek, firstly to you, I know you have a translator there as well. A big opportunity for you. We've seen you in some big fights in Poland, but this is a chance to really move into the world rankings.
Także panie Marku Mateja, duża szansa dla pana. Myśmy widzieli pana w dosyć dużych walkach w Polsce, a teraz jest szansa, żeby się przenieść na światową scenę.
Tak, jest to dla mnie duża szansa, żeby się pokazać na brytyjskim ringu. W moich już rękach leży wszystko, żeby sobie wywalczyć tutaj jak najlepszą pozycję.
It's a big chance for me to appear on the British market, on the British ring, and it's up to my hands and fists to fight my position.
Obviously, I'm sure you've seen Craig Richards fight. Your thoughts on him? A good fight out against Dimitri Bivol last time, and many expected you to give him a great fight. I'm sure saw you demolish Shakan Pitters at British title level. Is that really the case moving forward now? You maybe look back on that Dimitri Bivol fight and think, if I'd have just maybe believed in myself a little bit more, I'd be sitting here as world champion now. But everybody talks about the power that you possess at 175 pounds.
Yeah, 100%. I possess a lot of power at 175, as you've seen in some of my big fights, but still I don't get the credit that I think that I deserve. I feel like sometimes that it's fights like this, I've got to make sure I go out there, perform, and maybe get a good number or a good job done on him, because otherwise people just put me at the back of the list. As always, you hear people mention light heavyweights and leave me out the scene sometimes, although I've gone out there and beat some good names, Jake Paul, Shakan, as we go on, and I still don't feel like I get the credit I deserve. So it's fights like this, I need to be going out there, performing well, I keep pushing forward till they got no choice but to have my name at the top of the list.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, when you talk about Joshua Buatsi, who we're about to announce a really tough fight for him, had a good fight last time out against Bolotniks. Callum Johnson, Yard and Buatsi fighting each other as well. I know that you're all looking at world championship fights, but sooner or later we've got to get you guys in the mix. You believe you have the qualities to come out on top of that domestic pack?
Well, I believe so. I believe that, as you say, eventually everyone's got to get into the mix, right? And if you look at me, I've been in the mix. I've beat 2 top 5s in Britain when they was top 5 previously. I've beat so much domestic guys, I could have won the British outright, but yet no one talks about that. There's no other domestic guys who's done what I've done. None of them else has done that, but yet I still sometimes get left out of the conversation, or not, okay, he's had the hardest fights, he's beat the best guys, why ain't he number one? Do you know what I'm saying? So I believe that eventually I just got to keep kicking the door down, beating these guys, and I'm in the second half of my career now, and I feel like now I've got to really make it count.
Well, we look forward to your fight for the WBA International title on Saturday. We move into the heavyweight division. Of course, the man to my right, Alan the Savage Babich against Eric Molina. Eric, welcome. Whenever I want a test, whenever I want a good fight, I know that I can just slide in your DMs in Instagram, and then suddenly, firstly you say no, and then I just got to tease you a little bit, and then eventually you hop on that plane because you love to fight, you love opportunities, and this was one you just couldn't turn down.
Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. First off, I want to thank my team for coming out here with me, my management team. I want to thank my wife back at home. 13-day notice. My wife helped prepare my team, my management team. And you're right, Eddie, working with the #1 promoter in the world, I just can't say no, man. It's an honor to be here. to be out here halfway across the world. And you know, I relish these fights, and I just can't say no, man. I love it.
Alan Babich is an interesting one. I mean, people keep talking about, you know, he's small, and people talk about, you know, he could run out of gas and after a few rounds, etc. And everyone keeps saying the same thing, but no one's putting a dent in him. No one's really taking anything out of him. He's just doing whatever he says he's going to do. I do feel this time around this is a different kind of challenge. No disrespect to Mark Bennett and those guys. You're a completely different level to those guys. You fought for the world heavyweight title twice, 13 days notice or 1 day notice. You would beat all of those guys that he's faced already. When you look at him, do you see him as a... You've boxed Anthony Joshua, you've boxed Filip Hrgović, you've boxed Deontay Wilder. What do you think of this guy as a threat to the heavyweight division?
Well, you know, no disrespect to the guys that he's faced some tough guys. I think BABIC is a tough fighter also in the heavyweight division, but you know, I think that his size and his, I don't think that he's got the size for this division. You know, I've seen some guys, even myself, I'm small for this division. So it's a heavyweight division. You have to respect it and you have to stay humble to it. And it's something that I've learned in the game. And you know, definitely this fight, I got to use my experience and I got to use my size to my advantage.
Obviously, with that preparation, is it a case of starting fast and putting a dent in? I mean, he's going to be right in front of you from the first bell. We know you've got big power in the right hand, you've got good reach as well, you've got a very sharp jab. You need to start fast as well against Babich, but also know that if it goes past 3 or 4 rounds, it's going to be very, very tough in there.
Right, absolutely. You know, he's got one gear, he comes forward. I think that he's a fan-friendly fighter because he's reckless. But when you're reckless, eventually you run into a wreck. That's what makes it exciting. So I feel like my abilities, my counter-punching, I'm a natural-born counter-puncher, and I think that this fight, it leaves the biggest opportunity for me to win.
You think you win this fight by knockout? I mean, he's been hit a lot in the fights that he's faced, particularly his last fight. You're probably not going to miss him. You believe you can take him out?
You know, just looking at all my fights, I've landed the big shot. I think Anthony Joshua was the only fight I didn't. So even look at the last fight with Fabio Worley, who I think is a great fighter also. He took my shots well, but I landed them all night. So we're gonna see if he could take those shots on Saturday.
Savage, welcome. I know you were ready to fight anyone here, and Otto Wallin, one of those guys, but you were very happy when Eric Molina accepted the fight, because I know there was a lot of fighters that were calling you out, and you felt that you didn't want to fight guys that were, you know, outside of the top, even 200 on BoxRec. You wanted to take these guys who were real players in the heavyweight division, guys with credentials. And this is a big, big step up from you. Again, no disrespect to Niall Kennedy and Tom Little and those guys as well, but this is a serious test for you, and you're ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eddie Hearn. Thank you, Molina, for showing up. First of all, I want to address the white elephant in the room. Dillian Whyte. Everybody has been talking shit about that guy. Dillian Whyte is responsible for 21 of us guys getting a shot at matchroom shows. And he's the only reason I'm sitting right here, right now. You know, so anybody who has something to do with Dillian Whyte, talk to me if you want, you know. Or go to his fucking face, you know, so stop talking shit. You know, I sent him my 2 best sparring partners, and they told me the first day something is wrong with him. He didn't spar like he used to. So I know he was injured, and stop talking shit, because I'm getting fucking angry about it. And second of all, I rate Molina for being here, you know, but I don't rate him as a toughest test of mine. I really don't. I don't think you can fight me on a 10 days notice, you know. He said I don't respect the heavyweight division, but he took the fight, and he was training for what? For fitness, to be a fitness trainer. So, you know, I think I'm gonna smash him, you know, and I'm gonna do it for my brother. You know, this is the fight for Dillian Whyte. I'm not joking. You know, we're not going out to the first round.
You think you end this fight inside the first round again? I mean, look, you know, last time you talked about ending Mark Bennett early. It took you a few more rounds than expected. This guy can punch. He's very sharp early on. You're not fearful of his power.
Listen, Eddie, I want to be knocked out. How can you be fearful when I want to be defeated? I crave it. Please defeat me, somebody, please. I crave it, I want it, I love it. I want to take that fucking 0 off my fucking record. I don't like it. I don't like the 0. You take it. fuck you, Zero, you know? I'm sick and tired of this. Oh, you're gonna lose. Yeah, of course I'm gonna lose. I lost 10,000 times in my life. I didn't until Dylan found me. I lost everything almost. I was out of boxing with 1 foot. And I was 28 years old. I didn't have money for bread. No, so I'm not afraid of fucking taking my Zero. Knock me out right now. It's okay, bro. No, it's okay. But I wanna say one more thing. I box for the average Joe. So please, I'm gonna give you the fight. All of the average people can watch. You know, I don't wanna just box for the boxing fanatics, for the boxing historians, you know, stuff like that. You will value me. You know, it's just a matter of time. But this Saturday, I box for the average Joe. So please come on and support because I'm gonna give you my all. I will not take care of myself. You know, I will be reckless. I will be reckless. You know, and I'll do it for my brother Dillian White. And whoever has something to say about him, say it to my face or his face, or shut the fuck up. Yeah, and that Swedish guy also crying on the Instagram. Hey, doesn't want to shut your fucking mouth, boy. You know, shut the fuck up, you're fucking boring. And I'm getting pissed off. You know, Dillian White is injured. Don't let me continue, Eddie. Stop me.
Final question, Alan, is just that, you know, you talk about for the average Joe, and I think that is one reason why people warm to you so much, is one, you're very accessible, two, you're very entertaining in the ring, and three as well, you are fucking crazy. But there is no, you have a management team behind you with Dillian, and trust me, a lot of thought goes into that. But from your perspective, you know, you are sitting in a position now where, you know, your co-main event on a big televised card, a lot of people are talking about you, a lot of people are interested to watch you as well. There are massive life-changing opportunities that are going to present themselves to you if you continue to win. And there are big championship fights that are going to present themselves to you if you continue to win. But at the same time, you have no fear of losing. But are you aware of how close you are to securing some of those life-changing opportunities? Or do you think once you start thinking about that, it takes that you know, that brings that fear element in, if you like?
Yeah, but you said it all. I have a great management team, great coaches. My coach, Leonardo Pietra, is a great coach. Dillian White is a great manager. His team is great. You're a great promoter. So why would I worry about that? I don't know shit about this stuff. I don't know nothing about that. I know how to fight. I fought on the streets for 10 years. Now I sit at the big table at mature shows. You know, so I've done my life. You know, I've done everything I ever wanted to do. I just want to entertain people. I want to entertain. You know, I never ask how much money I'm gonna get. I never ask how hurt am I gonna be. I never ask nothing. I just want to entertain people. You know, that's all I want, to entertain the average Joe, so he can look at my crazy ass getting beaten up if needed. No problem. Knock me out. Everybody say, oh, he's gonna knock you out. Not him. Everybody. Knock me out. Come on. I want it. I crave it. I crave it, knock me the fuck out. I want to sleep for 10 days. So what you gonna do? I was on the floor my whole life. You know, I know how it is to be down. I can't wait to get back there. No problem, I can live with it. I can live with nothing. No, I live with nothing for so long, so I don't need all of this. All this is extra. Talking to you is extra. It's just extra bonus. You know, it's not real life. I know real life. I live through it. You know, and if the worthy one comes and knock the fuck out of me, I'm gonna be happy. You know, I wanna say thank you. You know, I found my top level. I can't go. If Molina is that guy, let it be. I hope he's not, because nobody on 10 days notice is gonna knock me out. But if he does, I'm gonna say, okay, this is my end. Thank you, Dillian White. I'm retiring from boxing. This is my end. I can't do nothing more. You know, that is who I am. I'm searching for my top, for the first day in boxing. I just want somebody to beat me. Is that so hard? Just beat the shit out of me. I boxed guys who are 50 kilos heavier than me every day in the gym. Every day I boxed Olympians. I have 2 Olympians in my club. You don't know how good I am. You don't know. I keep telling you that. You're my biggest, the biggest guy who doesn't believe in me, actually. You know, so I'm gonna show you. It's okay. Not believing is me. It's great. I love it. You know, I love the depressing part of boxing. You know, a lot of you don't know how it's hard to be boxer. You know? That's why I get emotional when you go on Dillian White. You don't know how hard lives he has. You don't know Dillian White. like I do. So shut the fuck up, you know, because it really makes me angry.
Finally, I will say, I know your attention's on Saturday, but there is a lot of talk and a lot of hype in Croatia about a fight between you and Filip Hrgović. That's something you want badly as well.
Mr. Eddie Hearn, I told you this 10 times. Bring Matchroom to Croatia and bring him that idiot, cube-shaped idiot inside the ring. I'm gonna tear him up. The boxing is about life. Boxing is not just technique or stuff like that. He's a good technical, yes he is. I'm not gonna box with him. I'm gonna beat him up. He's 10 times smaller man than I am. 10 times. I know how to say it. I'm tougher than he ever saw a man was, you know, so I just can't even explain what I'm gonna do to him. I know you don't believe me. Nobody believes me, but just give me the shot. It's the fight people want in Croatia. Croatia wants Matchroom event, you know. Give us Split, Polju, give us Zagreb, Maximum, give us Arena, the Pula Arena, you know. People will come, you know, and I will destroy the cube. I will destroy him. I will not box him. I will fight him. I'm a fighter, I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter first, then a boxer.
Well, thank you, Alan. I'm tired just listening to that. That was incredibly entertaining. But first things first, Eric Molina will get the opportunity to be that guy to make your wish come true on Saturday night. We go to the main event, as I said, the first half of a brilliant tournament, the Road to Undisputed, the Unified World Super Lightweight Championship between WBC World Champion Chantelle Cameron and IBF World Champion Mary McGee, and of course the inaugural Ring Magazine Championship. The first time this amazing belt has been on the line in this weight division in women's boxing. Mary, I'm going to start with you. You've just seemed full of energy, full of beans in this camp. The opportunity of a lifetime, of course. Female fighters are almost getting bored of saying that they're getting what they deserve in terms of the recognition, in terms of the payday. Still a long way to go, but headlining the show on Saturday, live on DAZN, a huge unification fight, and you look ready to go.
I am. I trained really hard for this fight. I kind of knew a long time ago that I would end up fighting Chantelle because I would listen to her say she wanted to fight one of the champions. So I made sure that I prepared for her from that day. And when I was offered this fight, I was excited because I knew I get to sit next to Eddie Hearn. And I knew that sitting next to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom was one of the pinnacles of boxing. So to be a female fighter that used to steal tickets out of her car all night just to get a fight, to sitting up here, I'm more than ready. So make sure you get your tea, your popcorn, your drinks, and everything before the fight starts, because it's gonna be an exciting fight, believe that. I'm ready.
Talk about that journey that you've been on as well, because a lot of these fighters now are coming in, really, I strongly feel that, and there's been others before Katie Taylor, but the younger fighters coming through now Ellie Scotney, just a couple of fights, they're coming into the burgeoning world of female boxing. You were well before that, really, when you started out, where it just didn't exist, that world. What was that journey like for you? You talk about selling tickets out of your car just to get the opportunities. I'm sure you boxed for nothing at times, just to get an opportunity to progress your career.
$100 a round when I started out. I started boxing when I was 14. I stayed pro for maybe 5 years, and I mean not pro, amateur, for about 5 years. And after winning the Golden Gloves a couple years in a row, it was like I needed to make a living for myself, so I went pro. And they said, you can make $100 a round boxing, and it was what I love to do. So I was like, hey, this sounds like a steal for me. But then as I got better and I kept winning, I realized that my opponents cost more money. So I had to get out and sell tickets, sometimes night and day, just to fight on the card to make sure my opponent got paid. And most times my opponent made more money than I did.
Obviously now that is starting to change, and you know, I know that this is a big financial opportunity for you as well on Saturday, but it's more about the glory, the championships, of course, your own belt, the WBC, this, and the chance to be undisputed as well. You're into Chantelle Cameron's backyard, if you like. She's a strong fighter.
My word work out real hard because she's not coming to lose. So I made sure I worked really hard for her. I know I have a little fun in games and say little things, but I took this fight very seriously.
Do you need to take her into deep waters? Is that what you think no one's really done yet in her career so far? I mean, she's faced some tough opposition as well, but no one really of the levels of Mary McGee.
I don't believe so, because some of the girls that she fought, like The girl that she won the title from, she came in overweight, out of shape. And yeah, Chantel beat her, but I could beat somebody that's overweight and out of shape too. And then Melissa, she's a great champion, but at featherweight. She couldn't even make, she was 136 on the scale. But me, I'm a natural super lightweight, so I know I have a better chance than any of those other girls.
Well, look forward to seeing you attempt to win those championships on Saturday. Chantelle, welcome. A lot of people very happy that you got the chance to headline here and get that limelight. It's been quite a crazy period for you since we teamed up. Of course, you won the world title behind closed doors. You went and defended that championship in Las Vegas, which I know was a great experience for you. And now you step straight into a unification fight as well. Progress going really well for you. And this really is the defining moment of your career so far.
100%. My career's gone strength to strength since I teamed up with MTK, JMR, and I'm just living the life. I'm absolutely loving it.
Talk about Mary as a fighter. You know, she's extremely experienced. She's got some great victories as well. Can punch. Is tough. You expect this to be by far the toughest challenge that you've had so far?
Yeah, this is going to be my toughest fight, and it's been something I've been schooling for years now. I'm always saying I want to face a tough champion, and yeah, I've got it.
I saw your interview with DAZN where you talked about you being a nightmare. You talk about your work rate, your punch power as well. Is that the plan on Saturday as well, to come out with that same kind of work rate and engine? I mean, again, a tougher fighter in Mary McGee, a good counter puncher as well, someone that carries power as well. But should we expect to see the same Chantelle Cameron and that same energy in the ring on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll never change. So I want to make an exciting fight, and Mary's going to bring that to the ring as well. So I just feel like my engine, I don't stop.
And finally, obviously your belt, Mary's belt, this fantastic belt here. Probably by the end of spring, the 140-pound division will have, well, definitely will have one champion, will be the undisputed champion. You're confident that you will be the last woman standing from this great tournament and will be crowned undisputed after you beat Mary McGee on Saturday?
That's all I visualise, that's all I see.
Sorry?
Beat.
Beat. Yeah.
You just said beat.
No?
It ain't gonna just happen like that.
No?
I didn't come all the way across the pond just to get beat. It's gonna be a rumble in the jungle. Like back in Muhammad Ali days, she is not gonna just beat me, believe that.
We talk about her engine. She said that she's a nightmare for everyone. Are you expecting a full-on fight?
I'm expecting her to box, pop shot, move. I've already listened to her conversations and say what she's gonna do. They've watched fights of me, and like if you watch some of my old fights, which I watched too, I went back and readjusted things about myself as well. So her watching those fights, she believed that she's just gonna box on that back foot and move around me. No, it's not gonna work. I worked on everything I knew that she was gonna bring. I'm gonna give y'all an exciting fight. I came out here to fight.
I don't know who's more scary, you or the savage. I'm stuck between things here. Anyway, look, thank you very much. May the best lady win. It is brilliant to see world champions put their belts on the line to try and become undisputed. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the fighters up here. We have a tremendous fight card on Saturday night, live on DAZN all around the world. Wherever you are, do not miss it. We're going to have a head-to-head with some of the fighters up here now, and then all the guys available to the media for questions. Thank you so much for the support.